The late Shelby Oppenheimer was loved by anyone who knew her, including many people here tonight from the Phillies organization. Her husband, Jeff, is here to talk about how the Phillies made such a difference in their lives. And Holly Tomkowitz, who is now living with ALS, has been showered with attention by the Philly stars of today, like Aaron Nola and Bryce Harper. So here to give you a then and now perspective are Jeff Oppenheimer and Holly Tomkowitz. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Shelby and I are from Columbus, Ohio. She really wasn't much of a baseball fan back then, but I was 10 years old in 1975. I was there for the Big Red Machine. I listened to Ernie Harwell and Tigers baseball and WJR from Detroit. I played baseball. I coached baseball. So when we relocated to New Hope, Pennsylvania, I was no longer halfway. I finally had my team. So let me say on a personal note, what an honor and a privilege it is to be a part of this evening tonight. I bear witness to ALS. What that looks like is one day you can't button your shirt, soon after that you can't feed yourself, and not too far off you know you won't be able to walk unassisted. I also bear witness to the ALS Association. What that looks like is one day this woman named Ellen Phillips shows up at your door, and we realized we're not in this alone. And then we found out that behind Ellen Phillips is an army of incredible people, and we realized we're supported. And then we found out that behind the army of incredible people are the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies have to be the only team in sports that when you speak of community sweat equity, we're literally talking about perspiration. If you've been to the Phillies Festival, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've seen that man sweat plenty, John Weber. That kind of commitment throughout the organization was an inspiration for Shelby and me. We weren't going to just play defense. We wanted to be in the dugout. We wanted to break out the sticks. We wanted to put some runs on the board. And what that looked like was annoying one president to a stem cell compromise, witnessing another president sign the FDA Modernization Act while we testified to please stop protecting us to death. Shelby and I did have our big innings, and we even pushed it to extra frames. By the grace of God, she lived for almost 20 years. I bear witness to the strength of people who can't move a muscle. When we relocated, we moved into a 4-bedroom home with only one thing to do, which is to fill those bedrooms. And at that moment in our life together, we were a little guilty of sitting fastball. 3-0, third base coach gives you the green light. You throw it as hard as you can throw it, and let me see if I can hit it. And wouldn't you know that what we got instead was a 49-mile-per-hour, Randy Wolf-style curveball, and we had swung through before the ball was halfway to the plate. In life, we do our best to pick our circumstances, but sometimes our circumstances pick us. Shelby and I had our challenges, to be sure, but we always knew that our blessings far, far outnumbered our challenges. And if you don't believe me, consider this. On August 8th, 1995, we moved out of Ohio. On February 20th, 1996, 7 months later, Shelby was diagnosed, and we had you. So on behalf of Shelby and all the patients just like her, for all the clinic visits, equipment loans, the ramps we build, the support groups we organize, the caregivers we provide, the research we fund, much of it wouldn't be happy without the Phillies. And so tonight, tomorrow, the day after, and the day after that, we say with our whole hearts, thank you, Phillies, for making all this possible. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce Holly. It's your show.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak with you tonight. As a person with ALS and a lifelong Phillies fan, I'm honored, although a little nervous and now emotional. Jeff told you about how the Phillies were there for him and his wife Shelby as she battled ALS years ago. I'm here to tell you that this relationship is still alive and well. The ALS Association is so fortunate to have been adopted by the Phillies. No one deserves to have ALS, but it is comforting to know the Phillies organization remains devoted to helping the ALS Association do what it does best, maintaining quality of life for those in our area afflicted with ALS. I was overwhelmed by the kindness and dedication of the Phillies when I attended my first Phillies Festival this year. Entering the stadium, I watched the entire organization, staff, players, their family members, volunteering to make a difference. They were all there, including the newer stars, Aaron Nola, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, and Gene Segura, interacting with the crowd and giving their time and attention to everyone there. A highlight for me was having many players and coaches sign my walker. Mickey, do you remember? Aaron, the line for you was so long, I don't know where you are, but I bought my Sharpie pen tonight. This team is the real deal. As I continue to battle this disease, it's comforting to know that such a quality organization like the Phillies is behind me all the way. I want to thank them for that tonight. The Phillies' commitment to the ALS Association provides hope and support to those suffering with this horrible disease until the day we find a cure. And I want to thank everyone in this room for being part of that mission tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You did great.
Good to see you, Michael.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Maybe you could sign my walker
I would love that. Thank you, Jeff and Holly, and Aaron coming up. By the way, Scarlett is the name of Holly's scooter. I'm sure you knew that, but just in case you didn't, I thought maybe it was her middle name. Jeff, great to see you. Great job, both of you. Thanks so much, Jeff and Holly.